Hey, what's going on YouTube? Will here from All Electric, back again with another video. And in this video, we're going to talk about all the changes that version 10 brought to Autopilot, Navigate on Autopilot, and of course, another Smart Summon test. So just to be clear, we're running 2019.32.11.1. We did get an update from the initial version 10 software update. So everything that you see here, including this video right now, is that newer version 10, that .1. So it did get a slight update, and we were promised another update for Smart Summon this weekend when I'm recording this, but we have yet to see that. After using version 10 a lot in Autopilot, I have noticed a couple different things where it has upgraded, but first I want to jump into Enhanced Summon. So I'm here at Target and I'm standing in front of the store and I'm summoning the car. Right off the break, it does a reverse, which I've seen it do before, where it reverses to get onto the path that it shows on your phone, which is kind of odd. I wish it wouldn't do that. I wish it would just pull out of a parking spot. I did get an alert here saying pausing for intersection, which I'm glad because that car went flying by. And then it pretty confidently pulls out onto this, I want to say road, but you know, it's not a road really. We're still in a shopping center. The street in front of the Target. So there is a stop sign here, and I do like how it pauses for a second. And then I get a little nervous how it starts to turn the wheel. I'm standing up there in front of the car, and I could see the wheels turning towards that car as I passed. Now it does kind of go off into the middle before it comes back over just a little bit. And as it got closer to the Target, I realized that it would start to do this kind of hiccup, like speed up and then slow down, speed up and slow down. The target was set actually past me. It wasn't going to my phone, but rather to a target past me. And I ended up just stopping the summon, of course, after testing the pedestrian. So it did notify me of pedestrian, and then I stopped the test and it said summon complete. Just to be clear, when I say target, I'm talking about the target point where I sent the car, not target as in the store. Okay, so we're in the car, we're back in Autopilot, and we are going to make a transition on a cloverleaf or on an on-ramp from one highway to another highway, just using regular Autopilot, not Navigate on Autopilot. So I initiate this by the turn signal, and it does get over behind this van, and then does speed up, although we're going into a curve, and then you see it start to slow down pretty drastically. Now, I do like how it slowed down, although me as a driver, when I'm driving, I would go a little bit faster around this cloverleaf. But I did see the same thing when I did my curvy country road test again, which I will be posting soon with version 10 software, in that the software now with version 10 will slow down pretty significantly when the car recognizes that you're approaching a curve. Now I did have my turn signal on here, but unfortunately it wouldn't take that turn for whatever reason. And again, not Navigate on Autopilot, just regular Autopilot. So I do re-engage Autopilot. And if you haven't seen any of my videos or haven't seen any Tesla before, you'll know that I'm in Autopilot by that blue circle with the steering wheel on the center display and the two blue lines. That tells you Autopilot. If you have one blue line, that tells you Navigate on Autopilot. Just in regular Autopilot here, so it's not going to make the lane change for us automatically. I do initiate the lane change by turning on the turn signal though. So you see a really smooth lane change. And that's something that I've noticed here in Navigate on Autopilot and in regular Autopilot like we are here. When I initiate the lane change by pulling down on the turn signal to move to the left or pushing up to move to the right, the car is moving over a lot smoother. That is one thing that I definitely noticed with version 10, that the lane change as far as getting over, it was smooth before, don't get me wrong, but now it is like next level smooth, moving over from one lane to another. Now also in the Model 3 and in the future Model Y, you're going to be able to kind of, right where you see the glare on the touchscreen, where you see your animated version of your car, you can actually reach down and kind of rotate and see different views of your car. I thought I'd be using that more. I find that I use it more at like a stoplight or something like that, not really while I'm driving, although I'm just doing it here to kind of show you guys. But it is nice seeing on 2-lane roads because it does show a lot of oncoming traffic and smaller roads, but on the highway it really just shows cars that are around you. I primarily use it as a blind spot checker. So now let's move on to a smaller road. So here we're going to start off on a smaller road. So no stop sign yet, so I had to disengage from Autopilot to stop at that stop sign. Hopefully that stop light, and stop sign detection are coming really soon. If you notice here in version 10, it now displays trucks, so we get a good view of what that truck looks like. Maybe the Tesla pickup? Probably not going to look like that. I'm real excited, and hopefully we get to see that really, really soon. So I'm in Autopilot still, and we're going to try and take this right-hand turn just to see what version 10 does. Now, you've seen my other videos where I've tested intersections, and here we go. So it starts to go to the right, and then just kind of loosens up the steering wheel and flashes take over immediately. Here it is slow again. So it kind of, the steering wheel almost goes limp and then forces me to take over. So something different than we've seen before, where the car actually attempts to make the turn. And I'm definitely going to try out some other sections that I've been successful with in previous software updates. So here on this smaller road, lane changes are a breeze. And like I said, just on highways, I really feel like as a driver, as somebody sitting in the car, it might not be as noticeable in the video, but in version 10, it's definitely a smoother experience when you're sitting in the car and it does a lane change. So here on a 2-lane road, like I said previously in the video, this is where I really like the new user interface, and you get to see the oncoming traffic, which I have found isn't 100% yet. Now it is, I would say, probably 70% as far as it's showing oncoming traffic. And you can definitely rotate the other and around and stuff like that. It's really cool, especially on 2-lane roads. Practical wise, I'm not sure how practical it is, but I think this all just kind of helps the driver understand what the car is seeing and helps the driver be more confident with the Autopilot system. I've run this same road in several other software versions, and in version 10 there is not a huge noticeable difference. I mean, other software versions did this really well, like this road really well, although in version 10 I noticed that there's a lot fewer instances of phantom braking, and it's more confident in the world around it. At least that's from my experience. Let me know down in the comment section below if you've also experienced less phantom braking when you're in Autopilot. So back to the touch display here and the new user interface as far as seeing what the car is seeing. And again, it is about 70% or higher depending on what type of road you're at or the speed that you're going. But on this 2-lane road, it's definitely a little bit higher, let's say 85% at showing vehicles in the other lane. Now here, when you see some cars passing, so oncoming traffic all the way over there, now we do have a turn lane and then a double yellow line. We're gonna see that double yellow line, as soon as a car passes, kind of illuminate, like the Tesla is more confident that that double yellow line is actually there, although it's probably hard for the camera to see, but it does illuminate, kind of reinforcing its assumption that the double yellow line is there when we have oncoming traffic, which I thought was really interesting. So it's like the double yellow line is showing up as a light gray, and then it goes dark gray when it's more confident. Now Autopilot had no problem with that intersection, but I am testing version 10 on that one intersection that I have seen where Are We Training Autopilot? If you've seen those videos where I constantly am testing one intersection over and over and over. And version 10 is showing some promise, and so look for another video soon. One other thing that I noticed with version 10, when you're not following a car and a car is stopped at a stoplight, let's say way ahead in front of you, the car does a better job at seeing that car at a further distance and starting to slow down a lot sooner versus other updates where it kind of comes to a slamming brake versus a normal driver would stop a lot sooner than that Autopilot was doing. So definitely an improvement there. I did get the opportunity to test Autopilot at night, and I was tweaking with the brightness to show you guys the display as best as possible, because a lot of the new user interface items such as the dash lines and other cars and stuff like that are lighter gray, so it's a little bit difficult to see. But as you can see here, at night, I do think, like I've said before, Autopilot does perform a little bit better because the lane lines and the other car lights are illuminating. So version 10 is definitely a step in the right direction. Now, it is by no means a complete full self-driving software. We still have a little bit of ways to go, but it's definitely one baby step towards the full self-driving update that I'm sure we will see very soon. Head over to my Amazon shop where I have all the products that I've recommended and tested in all of my videos, not to mention the gear that I use to make these videos. Huge shout out to my all-electric tier supporters, Armana Min and Akram Atul. Thank you so much, guys. If you guys like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you haven't done so yet, click that subscribe button, and I will see you guys in the next one.